I don't know what's tighter, Ezra Aderholt's close or AB taking down his second event of the season. What's up, degenerates? It's the Disc Golf World, recapping everything you need to know from the Texas State Championship. I'm Jefferson, alongside me as always, the one with all the holes in his game, Swiss Cheese. This is the first time in a while I don't have some random nonsense to tell you guys before Swiss gets into the recap. Although I have seen some mention about the commentary this past weekend being subpar. But as you guys know, we're at the event. So the only play-by-play I hear is from the one fan who decides to take it upon themselves to keep everyone in arm's length updated after each shot. This is also while dual-wielding the DGN livestream and PDGA Live. Kevin Gates made a damn song about it, for Pete's sake. I would talk more trash, but these dudes always hook me up with the beer, so they're safe for now. Even if it's some IPA crap my dad would make me try. Instead, Swiss has you covered with the FPO.
The stage was set for a battle on who would take down the Texas States. Tied at 20 under, you only had FPO badass Owen Scoggins, and for most, a relative unknown Norwegian Anniken Steen, who has only been playing her best disc golf of her career, with the best FPO player in the game, Kristen Tatar, chasing them down, fresh off of setting the course record the day prior. There's other disc golf being played, but all eyes were on the lead card to see who just would come out on top. The battle wasted no time as Anniken lost a stroke to both Tatar and Owen after a par on hole 1, yet had a chance to get that stroke back the very next hole, only for her to hit band on her C1X birdie look. A start that Anniken didn't have in mind and a moment that most other players may not have recovered from. Steen only follows that up with the best drive of the group, hits the 36-foot birdie putt to regain the stroke she just lost on the first hole. Also stamping her presence for the fans and spectators alike that she was going nowhere for the entire round. Would go on to birdie the next 2 holes and begin to separate just before going OB on her upshot on 7. And after missing another C1X putt, this time being the comebacker, the 2-stroke swing not only gave the lead to Owen, but also lost a stroke to Tatar. Steen, however, always responded to missed putts and errant throws the very next hole with confident drives and at points huge putts. And it couldn't have come at a better moment because Tatar was charging and the crowd was reverberating. Tatar would go on to birdie the next 4 straight holes, including tying for the lead with Steen, who in that stretch went 2 under with another bad 2-putt on 11. Owen, unable to keep pace, fell back with some pars as the 2 Europeans were battling on the course, matching each other's effort shot for shot. The ladies' game was shining in what was the most exciting finish or round the FPO has seen all year, having as close of battles as the MPO. The main reason being this track separate from the MPO course, built with the FPO game in mind, giving the players an opportunity to highlight just how good their skills are. And if you watched yesterday's recap, I said Steen's magic number was 10 under. Yet here she is sitting on 12, 4 under with 7 holes remaining, while Tatar, the FPO Terminator, who is on a heater with 7 under playing near perfect. Then 12 happens, and Tatar has her first 2-putt of her own after Anniken's birdie putt, giving the lead back to Steen, and she would not look back from that moment further. Would face back-to-back C2 putts on 13 and 14 while Tatar was parked and absolutely buried both of those pressure-packed putts. Everything was working for her and seemed at points the victory was hers, at the very least, she believed when few others did. Her drive on 15 landed in perfect position on the front of another tee pad as if planned, would birdie that along with the following hole, finishing a 5 straight birdie stretch as Tatar matched her from 13 on. Leaving fans nervous as Tatar, who is down a single stroke with 2 remaining holes to play, one of which hole 17 where Tatar laid up the 2 days prior. Anniken on the tee plays it safe and places her shot in C2. Tatar, with a half bid, put her drive closer with yesterday's highlight 70-foot putt running through fans' minds. There would be no such heroics, as both missed their putts going into the island hole 18 with water clearance. Could not have been a more nervy moment for Steen, who was looking for her first victory, with the box and the lead needing to make the island first and foremost. That drive was the only moment on that last remaining 7 holes that Steen's nerves showed, making the island but putting it in C2, a far less confident drive than the 2 days prior that resulted in birdies. With Steen in C2 but still in range, Tatar was forced to be aggressive and pushed her drive OB, giving the victory to Steen and first ever for Norway at a DGPT Elite event. Steen was incredible for the entire weekend, shooting over 1,000 rated for the first 3 times of her career each day of this event. Led in C2 in regulation and only missed 4 fairways over the entire weekend. This open bag player, who's primarily sponsored by Guru and PCS Sula, certainly shows why she is more deserving of some attention from the big-time sponsors, or at the very least, some single disc sponsorships like other pros. She only took down 2 of the game's baddest, including the greatest, for her first victory. Owen was able to hold on to a solo third with a 6-under round, and of course, like always, part of the group hug celebration in the end as the entire card was able to put on a show.
Beth at 69.
I just told myself, you got to will this one in there. Whatever you have, just will it in there.
This man is unbelievable. This is what athletes live for. This is the moment.
Over on the MPO side, most thought Anthony Barela was going to walk in his second victory of the year as he went into Championship Sunday with a 6-stroke lead. AB started right where he ended round 2, tapping in a birdie on hole 1, but that wasn't good enough for him, so he decided to put it even closer on the next hole. Call him washed though, because he couldn't even go perfect for the first 3 holes, and he even found a bogey on hole 6 after an OB approach that would be paired with 2 other OB strokes, each resulting in a bogey. Barela would card 13 birdies, finding bullseye in 8 holes, finishing the round 4 for 5 in C1X and 2 for 5 from outside the circle, securing his second win on tour of not only this year, but his entire career. I hope we don't forget the years of work AB put in without much success. Sure, he found plenty of podiums and heartbreaking runner-ups, but never enough to claim a title. It got to the point some people started talking down, wondering if he would ever be able to get a win. Well, fuck the doubters. As a day one AB fan, it feels good to finally not live through the choke jobs and airball putts into OB. Seriously, I have memories of 2019 Worlds of a young Barela playing lights out at Northwood, one of the tightest courses of all time, only for the next day be forced to watch the struggle he had at Eureka. But even then his ceiling shined through all the mistakes, and plenty of people saw it early, including myself. You don't have Paul McBeth repping your gear if he doesn't believe in your abilities. And that sign was all we should have needed. I told you guys 8 strokes was only a few. I mean, that's 6 more than I could ever give. Gannonburg put together a clean 15 under on the final day to push him 1 stroke back of the lead. He would go on to birdie holes 9 through 18. For those slow with math, I got you. That's 10 birdies in a row. Burr was a missed circle 1 putt on hole 4 from tying the course record that was set yesterday. He would go on to hit the other 9 circle 1 putts, going 9 for 10 on the day and snagging 3 others from C2. Let's not forget now that Burr has placed 4th, 1st, 4th, and now 2nd so far this year. Each tournament he continues to impress, although every time I look at him, unless he's getting a birdie, he's criticizing himself for something. Some fans don't like that and chalk it up to complaining. But personally, I'm a fan. In my opinion, it's good to see him be a bit hard on himself when he isn't performing to the best of his abilities. Because he might look like he's in last place based on his reactions, but I swear, every time I check, he's in like 3rd. The standards he sets for himself are higher than anybody else I've seen, which is what will elevate his game to another level. Which can already be said, as he went 100% in C2 regulation all weekend. And when you nail 60% of those putts, it set him up for success. Honestly though, I don't know if these stats are correct, so this might just be the time I start complaining. Also, just to save my ass in case they are incorrect, take everything I've said with a grain of salt. Cool, now I can say whatever I want since I'm untouchable. When looking at the player stats, I noticed it said Burr didn't take any OB strokes for the weekend, which wasn't the case, as he found the out of bounds the previous 2 days, and then I saw AB allegedly going OB 17 times. Yeah, so clearly that's broken. Remember when I said better late than never in yesterday's video? I might have to take that back if the wrong stats are being displayed. The DGPT should have just waited until Jonesboro, which would have gave them 2 additional weeks to figure out the bugs that are still obviously present. Hopefully this was a way they could test out the rest of the kinks, and by the next tournament we can have more reliable stats. Because I'm already tired of this being a narrative each week. Plus, it makes my job a lot harder to do, and if you don't consider recapping professional disc golf tournaments as essential work, we might not be friends. Ezra Aderhold was looking to make another push on day 3 and going on a 9-hole birdie stretch from 2 through 10. Helps out. Unfortunately, he would go OB off his drive in hole 11, resulting in his only bogey of the round, and with others making moves, it set him back. He couldn't manage to find his groove again, as he would finish the last 7 holes only 2 down to complete his 10 under, going 10 for 11 in the circle, and hit 2 other putts from C2. Ezra gets lots of hype surrounding his drive, but what catches my eye more is his step putt. And no, not because it looks like a foot fault every time. Rather, when he's dialed in, he can drain them consistently, helping his score drastically. If he can keep the putter hot, who knows what we'll see out of Ezra the rest of 2024. And I'm not just talking about his practice rounds. In 4th place, 9 strokes back of the lead, there was Matty O, up 1 spot after a clean 10 under, connecting on every one of his 10 C1X putts, and went 2 for 5 from outside the circle. This would be Maddie's third top 10 of the season, looking to keep it rolling. That definitely deserves a Roll Tide.
In order to bring more hype with a possible podium push, Calvin Heimberg would need to put together a strong start. After hitting par on the first 2 holes, it'd be an even more difficult hole to climb to see that podium. And that was prior to AB and Adderhold's hot start. Vinny would hit birdies on the next 2 and warmed up during the middle holes, hitting 5 straight birdies. He would head into 18, 10 under for the round with another top 5 locked in hand, even with that bogey. Though the play of Gannon and AB along with an injury has pushed Calvin from some of this year's discussions. However, since missing Waco due to injury, Calvin has put together a podium finish and now 2 straight top 5 performances. Even without a win on the season or a forehand, his play is still strong enough to compete for wins weekly. Or, the stop he seems to always get right is right around the corner in Jonesboro. Gavin Rathbun could not have asked for a better start to his round on the final day, only going 6 under on the front 7 holes. Not bad considering he had yet to score below 7 under for the weekend. Cooled off prior to his double bogey on 11, though it didn't really affect his round much, scoring 5 more birdies after that, including a highlight putt on 18 for a solo 6th place. His second top 10 finish on the short year. This past offseason, he garnered little attention from major sponsors. Why exactly? I'm unsure. Gavin is well received, one of the best guys on tour, and has the arm talent to be up there on the leaderboard, with his only real inconsistency being his health. Double Eagle has certainly taken advantage, but you guys can't take a look at some of the sponsored players on tour and feel Rathbun doesn't stack up better against him. The man just got a Tour Series Warlock out, so get out, support not only one of my favorites, but also a player deserving of all the support that he needs. Braden Sides, the other Castaplas sponsored player. No, not the one with the crazy eyes and the greatest goatee in the game, or the other one who only wears bucket hats. Braden is on his first full tour for the young pro. Though it seems to take a while to get there, his form is smooth and controlled. His 7th place finish was the best of his short career, and though the verdict is still out on Braden, his game does show glimpses of promise, but he still needs some time to get accustomed to tour, tournaments, and these courses. Nathan Queen was able to finish 21 under for a tie with Braden. Though Nathan would tell you he lost his putt during the round, was still able to put a 7 under, a solid score on the day, mostly taking advantage of the must-get birdie holes. Today was his best finish on the season, and possibly a decent start to some better things to come.
Also tied for 7th place at 21 down after shooting his worst round at 5 under, Mason Ford would drop 3 spots. Although he'd play a bogey-free round, he couldn't seem to get much going. He had plenty of Circle 2 opportunities for birdie, but as the previous rounds, wasn't able to convert enough. 2024 hasn't been a bad year so far for Mason. If he can clean a few things up, including the mustache, he might just be competitive for a win. Kyle Klein would have his worst finish of the year. Sure, it was only a 10th place, but he's certainly not happy about it. However, he did what he does best and came out firing, getting birdies on the first 2 holes of the final day. He went on to finish 10 down with 1 bogey, connecting on 3 out of his 4 C1X putts, but did more work with his 4 outside the circle putts he smashed, jumping up 16 spots to continue adding top 10s for Discmania. Way to mess that one up, Nicholas. Now for some Championship Sunday quick hitters. Austin Turner finds a pet snake, but I'm more worried about the 2 dogs here. Evelina finds a new way to make some putts. Joel Freeman painting eggs with the PDGA logo. I guess someone had to do it. Eric Oakley and Zach Melton demonstrating couple goals, holding hands all around Brock Park. And that's everything you need to know from the Texas State Championship. Shout out to everyone who has supported over on Patreon and our YouTube members. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. It's the easiest way to support the channel. Oh, and if you want to know one of the huge problems the Disc Golf Pro Tour finally solved, check out the video right here.